Good evening, everyone. And thank you so much for joining me again. It's a beautiful Monday evening, early autumn, mid autumn. I guess it's early autumn still. Thank you so much. I know that you could spend your time elsewhere, but you choose to spend it with us, developing your mindfulness and your connections with yourself and others, right? That's what mindfulness is about, being aware of where we are in the present moment. And that's really about connection, right? Really about connections. So I'm so glad that you are spending your time with me, either whether live or on the replay, right? Which is lovely just as well. As long as you're doing things to better yourself, one way or the other, that's always something that's a worthwhile endeavor. And that brings us to tonight, right? When we get there. So again, today is October 4th, 2021. It's a minute or so past 6 p.m. here on the Central Time Zone, right? Maybe different where you are, especially on the replay, right? Could be a different time. And so tonight we'll be talking about the Noble Eightfold Path. And if you recall from last month's theme, the Four Noble Truths, the fourth one was the path, right? The fourth noble truth was the path. And that is what the Buddha has set out for us, whether you're a monk, right, or monastic, or a layperson. He has given us these wonderful 8 steps, and it's to help us achieve enlightenment, the best life that we can, and to ease suffering, because we want to remember the noble truths. Suffering is going to happen, right? It's a part of our life. And remember that suffering doesn't necessarily mean, something super painful like getting a tooth pulled or, a broken bone or a car accident or even getting terminated or fired from a job. But it could be anything, right? It could be grocery stores out of your favorite bologna or meat products if you eat meat, or maybe your eggs are rotten or something like that. I don't know. It could be many things. Another way that suffering is kind of described as it's also just disappointment, right? So there's the literal suffering, pain, and agony, but it could also have the meaning of disappointment. And so the Noble Eightfold Path, this is the first part, and we'll talk about 4 of them this evening, to help guide us along our way, to help ease our suffering for us. And as we ease our suffering by connection with mindfulness, we help ease the suffering of others as well. So, but as our typical format goes, we will start with a guided meditation. And tonight's guided meditation is letting go of guilt. Guilt has a way of robbing us of a wonderful day, right? It's living in the past, right? For something that we did, whether it was by accident or whether it was on purpose. But it's a cage. It holds us in from such wonderful experiences, right? From such wonderful experiences that life truly has to offer. So tonight's guided meditation is on letting go of guilt. So go ahead and close your eyes, right? Get relaxed, whatever's comfortable for you. I will guide you along. So you have nothing to do. Just get into the moment. That's the mindfulness, right? Being in that moment. So go ahead and let's begin by taking that moment to settle ourselves into that nice, comfortable position. You can sit down, you can lay down, whatever works best for you. You may close your eyes or keep them slightly open with a soft focus, looking downward, just a few feet in front of you. if you choose. And breathe in. And pause. And slowly exhale through your mouth. Allow a half smile to come across your face as well. This is an enjoyable experience. It's time for yourself. Allow your spine to lift and your shoulders to soften. Nice and straight. With relaxed shoulders. Go ahead and soften your belly as you settle in as well. Breathe in. Pause. Slowly exhale. And let's meditate on letting go of guilt. Go ahead and recall a time when you felt guilty from some action you took, or maybe you didn't take. It could have been a time when you told a lie, or maybe you said some words that were pretty harsh and in an unkind tone. Perhaps you just went to the refrigerator late at night and had that next to the last slice of cake. It's up to you. Think about that time, whatever it is. And as you reflect on that, think about if you were caught by someone, how did it make you feel? Embarrassed? Angry? Or maybe even just uncomfortable? Or perhaps you weren't caught by someone else. How did you feel about it shortly thereafter? How did you feel about that maybe several hours later, several days? Disappointed? Saddened? Maybe you justified or rationalized that behavior. Holding on to guilt is living in the past. And living in the past robs us of a beautiful future and even a beautiful moment, that present moment. Breathe in, pause, and breathe out slowly. Breathe in, pause, slowly exhale. Go ahead and imagine yourself as the most beautiful bird that you can think of. It could be a parrot, parakeet, toucan. Visualize those beautifully colored feathers. Such beautiful plumage that you have. And that beautiful, melodious song that you sing but now you realize you're unable to fly too far in any direction because you're in a cage. No one can see that beauty or hear that beautiful song because you are limited by the confines of that cage. Guilt is that cage that's keeping you from flying, keeping you towards or from being your best self. To open that cage door, let go of that guilt. It's in the past. And as you fly off, guilt is left behind in that past. And breathe in. Pause. And slowly exhale. Go ahead and begin to open your eyes slowly, just fluttering them open very gently. And go ahead and begin to reorientate yourself with your surroundings. Maybe adjust your seat. Wonderful. And so, as we continue with our Dharma talk from continuing, in some respect, from the Four Noble Truths to the Eightfold Path, again, the fourth Noble Truth is the path to end the suffering, and the Buddha gave to us 8 different steps. And it's important to realize when we think about those steps, they're not, you do step 1, step 2, step 3. It's not a laundry checklist in that sense. When you work on right view, you're going to, at the same time, be working on right speech and right action and so forth. So they're not steps necessarily in order. We've got them identified as steps, but they're you work on them together, right? They're dependent upon one another. And those 8 steps that he's identified: the right view, right resolve, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. We can break those down, or actually, we can combine them into 3 different divisions. First division, dealing with ethics, how we conduct ourselves, our own ethics. And that would be right action, right speech, and right livelihood. Second one could be mental discipline or meditation, and that would be right mindfulness, right effort, and right concentration. And then the third breakdown or third division could be it's wisdom, right? Wisdom, right view, and right resolve. So tonight we'll be doing ethics and meditation, okay, or the mental discipline. And so when we talk about right action, right action, what do we think about? We think about right action, how we behave, right? It's more than simply holding the intention of causing no harm to ourselves and to others, but to ensure we are doing what we're doing physically does not harm other sentient beings, right? Doesn't physically harm anyone else, and that includes ourselves. That's right action. So, running a stop sign, you could cause somebody some injury. That would not be right action. You have to be careful. Killing or injuring someone, stealing, right? Even in the Bible, thou shalt not steal. Sexual misconduct. It doesn't even have to be, it doesn't have to be so grandiose. It could Even be just a cat call to someone. Think about how that may feel. Right action physically does not harm cause to any sentient being. Right speech. Right speech. Don't lie. Right? We talked about that in that meditation, right? Maybe we lied to someone. That's not right speech, because that can give us guilt sometimes. Or divisive speech. That can go to idle gossip. Idle gossip is divisive speech. So, or harsh speech, right? Speaking to someone in a harsh tone. Even if we're angry, it's not right speech. And so, how we can think about that is, are my words coming from a wholesome intention? Are they true? And are they aimed at belittling someone? It's not right speech. So, is the conversation worth it? How does it uplift someone? It can still be true, but we don't have to say things so harshly, right? We don't have to sugarcoat either. We can give someone an honest critique. And so that's where that wholesome intention comes in. The right livelihood. Well, for one, for the monastics, and even for people, lay people or everyday people, it's important not to take more than what one needs. But for lay people also, it could also mean, what is our occupation? Does it hurt someone? Does it promote immoral behavior? So any livelihood that causes suffering to others by cheating or harming or killing them, right? It's not a business that is supported by 8 Noble Truths or right livelihood. So we have to make sound, wholesome, business ethical decisions as well. So right livelihood. And then right concentration or right mindfulness. Right mindfulness and right effort for tonight. So what is mindfulness, right? Something that we talk about. Being here in the present moment, right? Mindful of the body, the feelings, consciousness, mental phenomena while avoiding attachment and aversion, right? It is to remain aware of what we are doing, right mindfulness. How am I existing in this moment? Or how is the world around me at this moment? How does it exist? The world, right mindfulness. So when you are doing the dishes, you are doing the dishes, not thinking about where you'll be in 20 minutes. You're right there, looking at the soap bubbles as you scrub away, feeling the warmth of that water on your hands, drying the dishes, watching that towel absorb the water from that plate. And as you put it away, When you're doing the dishes, and just write mindfulness, whatever task it is. And write effort as well. You're doing things diligently, right? With good qualities. You do your actions wholesomely. Your thoughts and your actions are done with purity, without wanting to harm someone else. And in Buddhism, virtue is anything that causes happiness, and non-virtue is anything that causes suffering. So we want to cause happiness. So that can also tie in, like as we talked about before, they're not all step 1, 2, steps 3, steps 4, all the way down to 8. They tie in right effort, right? Virtuous activities, right speech, positive and uplifting. Non-virtuous, hate speech, tearing someone down. So a lot of these steps, there's some overlap, but we cultivate good qualities and abandon the non-virtuous thoughts and actions. That's right effort. And so that takes us through 4 of the steps of the Noble Eightfold Path. Something to think about as we go about our daily lives. How are we helping others? How are we helping ourselves? Are we presently aware of where we are? Am I feeling the table right in front of me? The different textures of the wood, or perhaps it's the mouse. Perhaps it's as I drink coffee tonight. I can taste the bitterness, the lukewarmness, the smoothness of the cup. That's mindfulness, being present where we are in that particular moment, not thinking about where you'll be in 20 minutes, 15 minutes, but where we are right now. So we'll continue this in our next bi-weekly Dharma talk in 2 weeks. And so one thing I would like to add, we are offering some wonderful new sanghas for virtual sanghas for all types of people. We have a sangha for teens, right? For all of our teenagers. It's hard to be a teenager in the 21st century. It's hard to be mindful in the 21st century, but it's especially hard for teens. Being around others who are also struggling and suffering, how do we connect with ourselves? We have a sangha for veterans, special class of our lovely veterans, right? Sometimes I'm a veteran myself. Sometimes it's hard once we are separated from the service life to get back into civilian life. It can be hard, especially with some of the experiences and sites that that were witnessed during your time and during our time. We also have a healing sangha for those maybe who have experienced trauma. More than welcome to join us. We also have a LGBTQT plus sangha coming up as well. All of these wonderful sanghas are beginning October 11th during that week. Find the time that's right for you. You can Certainly participate in more than one. More than welcome to. I go right on our webpage. You'll find the links under classes and offerings. And then we'll also have a new Resiliency Plus classes starting up in 2022. The first one started today. Yeah, started today. Wonderful. And so I'll be offering those regularly on a repeating cycle, at least once per quarter. So you are all welcome to join that. And resiliency, right, is bouncing back from hard times. But I want you to be the pluses, how to thrive, right? How to be your best self. You can be resilient and still get up every morning and go to work, but I want you to thrive. And ways to support us, right? So the Amazon Smile program, right? It's a wonderful program by Amazon. Most people shop there. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything. So your purchases don't increase. They don't decrease either, but they don't increase. And so you can sign us up. Our direct link is also on our website. And so you're more than welcome to participate there as well. And with that, my friends, I wish you all an evening of peace and ease. Practice some of these eightfold steps that we've talked about, eightfold path steps that we talked about tonight, and we will continue more. Let me know in the comments below what you think. All right, and don't forget to like and subscribe because it really that helps us. All right, that helps us a lot. So, thank you very much. Again, I wish you all an evening of peace and ease. Feel free to contact me any way you need to. Contact information is below. With that, my friends, I wish you all a wonderful evening.